What's up, guys? It's your man, Donovan Sharpe, and welcome to a special Super Bowl Sunday edition of TSR Sports Talk. TSR Sports Talk is brought to you by Good Vibes CBD Oil. Good Vibes will not only drastically reduce your anxiety symptoms, you will also get some of the best sleep you've ever had. If you want to support the show and get your hands on the best and most effective CBD oil around, go to donovansharpe.com and buy it through my affiliate link. Use promo code Donovan15 to get a 15% discount. Again, that is Donovan15, Donovan15 to get 15% off. We are also brought to you by Tactical Soap. Tactical Soap is a natural pheromone soap that enhances alpha status, masculinity, attractiveness, and charisma. Tactical soaps are formulated with a bioidentical pheromone blend designed to enhance alpha male attitudes that women love and men respect. You can buy Tactical Soap through my affiliate link on donovansharpe.com, and be sure to use the promo code Donovan to get an additional 10% off. I am taking phone calls during this particular broadcast, and if you want to give your take, get in on the conversation on what I'm going to be talking about today, give me a call, 914-205-5356. Again, that's 914-205-5356. If you call the show, it's going to be a little while because I'm going to give my opinions. Then of course I'll get in the chat, see what you guys are talking about, go back and forth with you guys, and then of course I will get to the phone line. So if you want to call in now and listen that way, that's perfectly fine. If not, that's perfectly fine too. Just understand that if you do call in, I'm probably not going to get to you for maybe 15, 20 minutes, 25, 30 minutes tops. You guys can follow, add, and like me on Facebook and Twitter. Just do a search for Donovan Sharpe on either platform. And of course, we are broadcasting. We're doing a multicast. 3 YouTube channels. Actually, 4 YouTube channels. We've got 3 Facebook pages, as well as Twitter via Periscope. If you want access to all of my content, go to patreon.com/Donovan Sharpe. There you will find my entire archive of all complete episodes of TSR Live, both audio and video. So you can listen on the go or watch at your leisure. Now, you can watch my show. You guys, those of you guys who watch me on the regular, watch me Monday through Thursday afternoons at 5 Eastern. But if you want to be able to rewatch or re-listen to the episodes in their entirety, less than 17 cents a day is all it takes. Be sure to subscribe to my weekly newsletter to stay in the know on all things Donovan Sharpe. Being on my email list also comes in handy in the event that I get deplatformed here or anywhere else. I'm not going to blow up your inbox, guys, so don't worry about that. But if you don't want to miss anything, subscribe to the weekly TSR newsletter. If you guys want to contribute to the show, you can do that through my Streamlabs link. That is www.streamlabs.com/Donovan Sharpe and the number 1. Again, that is www.streamlabs.com/Donovan Sharpe and the number 1. I don't take super chats for many reasons. The main one is because YouTube takes too damn much. So if you want 100% of your contributions to come directly to the towers, the Streamlabs link is the best way to do it. Bear with me, guys. I'm just a little bit under the weather. Got a little bit of a head cold, so my voice isn't going to be as loud and as boisterous and as fiery as it normally is. That doesn't mean I can't still come with a strong opinion backed up with a little bit of knowledge. So you guys are already in here taking sides. By the way, my prediction for Super Bowl 53, Patriots 45, Rams 40. So let's go ahead and get right to it. Back when I was, what was I? I was 16, 17 years old. I had just moved to Durham, North Carolina, right in the midst of the Duke Blue Devils sort of quasi-dynasty. They won 2 NCAA titles in a row. Well, all these years later, back in 2015, I saw the ESPN 30 for 30 called I Hate Christian Laettner. Now, I hated Christian Laettner back in the day. I think a lot of people did. Right? We hated Christian Laettner, Bobby Hurley. We hated all those Duke guys. We hated Mike Krzyzewski. And I was right in the middle of all that. I actually graduated high school in Durham. And of course, there were a lot of Duke and UNC fans there. And if you liked Duke, you hated Carolina. If you loved Carolina, you certainly hated Duke. But the nation seemed to hate Duke. Now, I'm much older, much older. When I watched the ESPN 30 for 30, shout out to Charles Caballero with the $5 contribution. I appreciate that. Again, if you guys want to be like Charles, contribute via the Streamlabs link, www.streamlabs.com/Donovan Sharpe and the number 1. Thank you again to Charles Caballero. Anyway, now that I'm older, I'm 41 years old. I'm going to be 42 this year. I don't hate Christian Laettner anymore. I actually admire the guy now. An interesting thing happens when we get older, at least to most of us, as we get more mature. When I was back in the early, when was it? Back in the early 90s, actually before I moved to Oklahoma, or before I moved to North Carolina, I used to hate Michael Irvin, Emmitt Smith, and Troy Aikman. Why? Because they were really good. They won 3 Super Bowls in 4 years, and they carved up my Eagles, who were absolutely terrible. So I hated Michael Irvin, Emmitt Smith, and Troy Aikman. But now that I'm an adult, I don't hate them anymore. Successful people don't hate or hate on other successful people. Anyway, what that ESPN 30 for 30 taught me back in 15 that I had never known all these years was that Christian Laettner did not grow up with a silver spoon in his mouth. As a matter of fact, his upbringing was far from what it was perceived to be. Christian Laettner grew up in a blue-collar house. He grew up on a farm. He went to Nichols Day School in Buffalo, New York for high school because he was a really good basketball player. He only got a partial scholarship. His parents had to make sacrifices to send him to this school. So, of course, he has a great high school career. He gets recruited by Mike Krzyzewski. He goes to Duke, and he becomes a folk legend. He becomes a legend. Wins 2 national titles, hit one of the biggest shots in NCAA tournament history over Kentucky. And that shot that he hit over Kentucky in the NCAA tournament, I think that was back in 92. That shot was up there with the Tyus Edney shot, the Bryce Drew. Michael Jordan's game-winning shot in the 81 NCAA title. Dude, the tip-in by Lorenzo Charles from Derek Whittenburg, in 1983 when the upstart NC State Wolfpack upset the heavily favored Phi Slamma Jamma, the University of Houston, which boasted stars like Hakeem Olajuwon and Clyde Drexler, both future NBA Hall of Famers. That's how big the Leitner shot against Duke was. Everybody hated Duke. And they especially hated Christian Laettner. Christian Laettner still is, and probably always will be, the most hated college basketball player of all time. It's not even close. And even today, Duke is still the most hated college program, even though they're nothing like they used to be. So now people are thinking, okay, Donovan, what are you talking about like they used to be? A lot of you guys are a little bit younger. So you guys, guys my age know about all the Duke hate. It's funny, these days people hate Duke and they don't really know why. They just, other people hate Duke, so I guess I'm going to hate Duke too. So now we ask the question, well, why do people hate Duke? Why are anti-Duke fans so vitriolic? They hate Duke with the fury of 1,000 suns. I'll actually tell you why people hate Duke or hated Duke back then. And it's because of what Jason Whitlock said on his show right after the Colin Cowherd show, Speak for Yourself. And it's actually something that I've been saying for years. I've said on my show, maybe a few times, that there's no such thing as a Tony Stark. And when I say there's no such thing as a Tony Stark, you ask me, well, who's Tony Stark? We all know Tony Stark is Iron Man. Well, why is Tony Stark this mythical unicorn of a character? Well, Tony Stark is this billionaire genius. He's this tech genius. He made weapons, and of course he had a change of heart. He's this billionaire genius, which is fine, but Tony Stark also has airtight game. He is fantastic with women. So not only is he this billionaire genius, and he's built this multinational conglomerate, and he's rich, and the Avengers and all this other kind of stuff, he's also good with women. There's no such thing as Tony Stark, guys. When the good Lord or the Creator makes people, he doesn't give everybody everything. Every once in a while, you do get guys who are both athletic and, freakishly brilliant. But those guys are few and far between. And Ndamukong Suh, he's probably going to go down as a Hall of Famer. He's made probably $200 million in his NFL career. The guy holds an engineering degree. That doesn't make him a genius, but guess what? Obviously, he's smarter than the average bear. Right? If you're a professional athlete, chances are you probably didn't do too well in school, at least without some sort of help. You can't have it all. You can't be Tony Stark. You can't be this genius, this tech genius billionaire guy, and still be good with ladies. You have to have time to hone your craft. You don't have time to hone your craft in either one. Tony Stark, as a kid, spent his youth in a lab, presumably. He wasn't out there hitting on women. He was too busy being a genius. So how is it that he is this billionaire genius who's also good with women? It doesn't work that way. There's no such thing as Tony Stark. Well, this is the reason why we hate Duke, or people hate Duke, is because Duke players seem to have it all. At least they did back in the late 80s, early 90s when they were on that run. And what do I mean by have it all? Well, if you're a college basketball player, college football player, like I said earlier, you probably came from a single parenthood home, probably came from a single mother, right? Probably came from chaos, probably grew up in the hood. Listen, man. I get it. Listen, there's Grant Hill. He didn't grow up in the hood. Cam Newton, as far as I know, didn't grow up in the hood. As a matter of fact, his father, Cecil Newton, was probably paid $280,000 by Auburn to get Cam Newton to go to Auburn. So not every college athlete grows up in squalor. They don't grow up poor, but a lot of them do. And so the way people feel is if someone comes from the hood, well, yeah, listen, give him a scholarship. He's going to excel on the playing field or the basketball court. Well, there are also academic scholarships. And people who get 4.5 GPAs and accepted into Harvard and Yale, guess what? These people are not normally athletic, at least not athletic enough to matter. Okay, you've got guys on the Yale or Harvard football team, Yale, Harvard basketball team. Okay, that's fine. But the only two Ivy League players that I know of that ever went pro, and correct me if I'm wrong here, this is just my limited sports knowledge, is Ryan Fitzpatrick, who probably just threw another interception, and there was another Ravens offensive lineman who is really, really smart. Those are the only ones I can think of. But by and large, most professional athletes, not that they were dumb or stupid, but they didn't excel at school. Not every professional athlete got great grades in school. This is why they're a professional athlete. You cannot have it all. Well, the Duke players seem to have it all. These good-looking white boys from these affluent neighborhoods, these affluent families, and they're running the league. For those of you guys who don't remember, little known fact, Christian Laettner played against Shaquille O'Neal when Shaquille O'Neal was at LSU. And for those of you guys thinking, oh man, Shaquille O'Neal must have, dominated Christian Laettner. Au contraire. Christian Laettner made Shaquille O'Neal look like an amateur. Christian Laettner absolutely ran up and down the court on Shaquille O'Neal. That's when this is when Christian Laettner got the attention of the college basketball world. Right. Heathen Deluxe says Richard Sherman, Andrew Luck. He says, I agree, however, a rarity. Yeah, exactly. Listen, Richard Sherman's a smart guy, went to Stanford. Andrew Luck also went to Stanford. Right? But again, for every Andrew Luck and Richard Sherman, there are, I don't even know what the ratio. The point is that most guys in the NFL didn't excel academically. I'm sure most of them did okay, but not everybody's an Andrew Luck. Not everybody's a Richard Sherman. Not everybody's an Ndamukong Suh. Not everybody's a Ryan Fitzpatrick. I think his name is Matt Burke, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, the reason we hated Duke is because if you go to Duke and if you go to Duke, you're really smart, right? Like Duke is like on that second tier of really good schools, not quite Ivy League, but Duke is up there with Northwestern. Stanford is another one of those at the University of North Carolina, UCLA. Those are those second tier sort of Ivy League, the diet Ivy League schools. Yes. All right. Yeah. Matt Burke did go to Harvard. Yeah, exactly. Matt Burke's a smart guy. But the reason we hated Duke is because they had it all. If you come from an affluent home, you shouldn't be able to enjoy having, you shouldn't be able to dominate a predominantly African-American sport. This is why we hated them, and this is exactly why I agree with Jason Whitlock's statement. Okay? I agree. Now, I will say this. Jason Whitlock's statement was that a lot of the Patriots hate, not all of it, not most of it, but he states that a lot of the undercurrent in terms of the Patriot hate is motivated by race. And I agree. Not all of the hate is from race, but a lot of it is. So why do we, quote, hate the Patriots? Why? How many black New England Patriots fans do you know? I mean, every once in a while we see them on TV, but I don't know any black New England Patriots fans. Listen, I'm sure they're out there. I'm sure you guys are going to raise your hands, blah, 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 blah. But you guys, listen, the exception doesn't make the rule. For every black New England Patriots fan, there are probably 250 white New England Patriots fans. The ratios aren't the same anywhere else. So the reason why, and Jason Whitlock pointed this out, the reason why the world, one of the reasons why the world seems to hate New England is the same reason why we hated Duke basketball. All of their stars are white. Tom Brady, Julian Edelman, Rob Gronkowski, and Chris Hogan. Who the fuck is he? The Patriots have been doing it. Basically, the Patriots have been winning Super Bowls with tiny white guys and a polar bear in their skill positions. Think of all their receivers. Okay, Randy Moss, Deion Branch, who was the MVP in Super Bowl 39 when they beat the Eagles. But most of the Patriots, the face of the New England Patriots, all of the guys are white. Now, why is that an issue? Well, let's call it what it is. Most skill position players, most running backs, wide receivers are white guys. Or, I'm sorry, are black guys. They're almost always black. Yes, guys, I know Peyton Hillis exists, right? Peyton Hillis was a running back for the Browns. We all remember Jason Sehorn from the Giants, Adam Archuleta for the Rams. Ed McCaffrey, Joe Jaravicious, Ricky Prohl. Okay, I get that. But almost all running backs and wide receivers are black. That's it. This is why I believe, and I agree with Whitlock, I believe that if there is an undercurrent of Patriots hate that is racially motivated, and guess what? I don't have a problem with it. And I'm going to tell you guys why here in a second. Here's another thing. People made fun of Christian McCaffrey, who, by the way, should have absolutely won the Heisman Trophy over Derrick Henry. He had a much better year than Derrick Henry. But people made fun of Christian McCaffrey for complaining about the racial bias when it came to the running back position. It goes both ways, guys. Anyway, back to the Patriots. Even their past stars are white guys. Wes Welker, Danny Amendola, Danny Woodhead, who's a cult figure in Boston, Rex Burkhead, those guys. Again, all skill position players normally occupied by black men, occupied by white men on a predominantly perceived white team, dominating a league that is predominantly black. I think it's something like 70 or 75% of all NFL players are black. Yet here are the white New England Patriots running the league. 9 Super Bowls in 18 years. That's unbelievable. When I look back, I can admit that's the reason I hated Duke. I hated Christian Laettner because to me, it wasn't fair that Christian Laettner could be this tall, good-looking guy who I thought came born with a silver spoon in his mouth, who could fucking shoot and dribble and dunked on Shaquille O'Neal, made him look stupid. What the fuck? This shouldn't be happening. Shaquille O'Neal, who looked like he had about the intelligence level of a crayon, there's no way that he should have been dominated by Laettner, but he was. And if people were honest, they would also admit that they have racial biases when it comes to sports, and that's okay. I can admit it. Let's look at Deontay Wilder versus Tyson Fury. Black people, including myself, I wanted Deontay Wilder to win. White people, for the most part, wanted Tyson Fury to win, even though Tyson Fury is a Brit. Why? Okay, and of course the reason why is because as people, we root for athletes, we root for people that we have the most in common with. And the thing that we have the most in common with, the most readily apparent, is our skin tone. Dude, Deontay Wilder and I are probably 2 different people, but guess what, man? We're both black men in America. We have had the black experience. I identify more with Deontay Wilder than I do with Tyson Fury. Fine. Of course, after the fight, blacks say that Wilder won the fight, but those black guys know that he didn't. That's the bias I'm talking about. I wanted Wilder to win, but he didn't. But I can say, but I can put my racial, and this doesn't make me any better or worse than anybody else, but me, I was fortunate enough to be able to put my racial biases aside and know that Fury won the fight. Let's look at another fight. Ricky Hatton versus Floyd Mayweather. Ricky Hatton is an Irishman. Floyd Mayweather is an American. Guess what? Almost every white person in America wanted Ricky Hatton to win that fight. Why? Because Ricky Hatton is white, and that's okay. And they made up all the excuses. Floyd Mayweather is cocky. He's got a lot of money. He's this, he's that. No. That's not the reason you hate him. You don't hate, like, you know who else has those traits that Floyd Mayweather has? How about Phillip Rivers? He's cocky. He runs his mouth. He's rich. We don't hate him, do we? Right? Again, I can admit that I have racial biases that when it comes to sports. That doesn't make me a bad guy. It doesn't make me a bad guy. And it doesn't make you a bad guy either. It's okay, man. The problem is, here's where we run into the problems. Is that people think that admitting racial biases when it comes to sports makes them a bad guy. People are afraid to admit that they have racial biases when it comes to sports. They're afraid to admit it, right? Because we're in this new woke society. Of course, I have a disdain for what I like to call fake-ass pro-blacks. Right? Guys who would have me believe that they believe that OJ didn't kill Nicole. Yeah, listen, you know OJ did it. Listen, he got off. He deserves his freedom. He hired a lawyer, took advantage of a justice system, and an obviously biased jersey. Hey, give the man his freedom. But OJ did it, and we all know OJ did it. If you're one of these OJ was innocent guys, listen, just say, listen, man, I'm going to stick with OJ because you know what, man? Black people have been getting fucked in the ass by the long arm of the law forever. And this was just one in our score. We finally got one. Hey, listen, just admit it. But you think that makes you a bad guy. And if you think that makes you a bad guy, then you know that the reason why you want me to believe that OJ was innocent, you know that that reason is bullshit. You know it is. Let's flip that around. Heathen Deluxe, he didn't have help. Don't even start. Listen, guys, honestly, don't start with the OJ stuff. I don't want to hear it, dude. OJ did it. OJ did it alone. I don't want to hear it. I don't give a fuck. Fuck you guys. Like, I love you, Heathen. I'm not getting into OJ discussions. I did that a year ago. I'm not going to convince people. Listen, if you have a racial bias and you've got your heels dug in, there's no way that I'm going to convince you that you're incorrect. So I'm just going to leave that alone. OJ did it. OJ did it alone. He knows it. You know it. And I know it. So I'm not, he had help. Yeah, right. Yeah, I'm sure Marcus Allen helped him kill her. Nicole had unpaid gambling debts. Get the fuck out of here. OJ did it. He fucking killed her because she found out she fucked Marcus Allen. That's just how it happened. Like, it is what it is. And listen, man, if you like OJ because he's black, cool, man. But don't come at me with that bullshit. Like, get out of here with that. Let's flip this around. Let's talk about Tiger Woods, right? There were whites who didn't like Tiger Woods because he's a black guy dominating a sport that's been dominated by whites forever. Right? Like, listen, this is just how it is. You have people, I don't really like Tiger Woods. I don't like the way he celebrates. I don't like the way he swears all the time. No, dude. You didn't like Tiger Woods because you don't identify with him. You're a white guy. How can you identify with a black golfer? You just can't do that. Black people love Tiger Woods. Finally, one of us, one of our own, dominating golf. Listen, that's okay. Then the scandal happened. Right? Then the scandal happened, and then everyone who didn't like Tiger Woods and didn't want to admit that they didn't like Tiger Woods because they know they didn't like Tiger Woods because he was black, now they jumped on. Oh, Tiger Woods, this and that. Oh, he's morally reprehensible, and he's a sex addict, and this and that and the other, and da-da-da-da-da. I remember listening to the Cowherd show back when he was with ESPN, and this fucking idiot calls the show. He's like, Tiger Woods is a remarkable golfer, but Rory McIlroy is a remarkable man. Dude, this is bullshit. That guy was full of shit. Colin Cowherd knew he was full of shit. Listen, man, white guys were looking for a reason to dislike Tiger so they didn't have to admit it to themselves or others that they didn't like him because he was black and they just didn't identify with a black guy. Fine. But as soon as they had a flimsy reason, they jumped on. They piled on him. Guys, every golfer is fucking other bitches. Tiger Woods was just messy about it. That's the difference. Let's go one step further. Let's go Lakers versus Celtics, right? Most Celtics fans are white. Most Lakers fans are black. It is what it is. And my guess is if you did a poll of the nation across the country during that Lakers-Celtics dynasty back in the 80s, the majority of Celtics fans would be white, and the majority of Lakers fans would be black. This is just how it is. Dude, listen, man, black people don't identify with Kevin McHale and Larry Bird. They identified with Magic Johnson, James Worthy, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. White guys don't identify with... The white guys didn't identify with the Showtime Lakers. Finally, one of ours is dominating the league. Larry Bird, Kevin McHale. Finally. Red Auerbach, I think, was the coach of one of those teams. Whatever the case may be. That's just how it was. That doesn't make you a racist. That just means you identify with people or things that you have the most in common with, or at least on the outside. Fine. Guys, we root who we identify with the most, and that's okay. I wanted Deontay Wilder to win because as a black man, I have more in common with him, or so it seems, than with Tyson Fury, namely my skin tone, and that's okay. That doesn't make me a racist. That doesn't make me a bad guy. It's just how it is. And don't come at me with all these bullshit reasons as to Wilder won the fight. Well, he knocked him down twice. Yes, but out of 36 minutes of fighting, Wilder won about 16 seconds of that 36 minutes, and most of those 16 seconds were Fury getting counted down by the ref. Well, the ref gave him a long count in the 12th round. Yeah, you want to know who else gave a fighter a long count? The ref in Tokyo when Tyson knocked Buster Douglas down in the 8th round. But nobody bitched and moaned about that, did they? Mike Tyson hits Buster Douglas with an uppercut at the end of the 8th round. He might have waited 2 or 3 seconds before he started counting Douglas out. Douglas gets up at 9. Mike Tyson's about to finish him off. Bing, saved by the bell. We don't hear about that. We don't hear about that. Nor should we. And if a long count is your argument as to the reason why you think Deontay Wilder won the fight, then you know that your fighter, Wilder lost the fight. Well, he gave him a long count, dude. You know he lost the fight. If that's your argument, come on, man. One guy on Facebook yesterday, I actually allowed myself to get on Facebook for a little while yesterday. And I posted the Jason Whitlock comments. And he's going back and forth with me on why Jason Whitlock's assertion was incorrect. He wanted to argue that Brady and Belichick's alliance with Donald Trump was the reason why blacks hate the Patriots. And that proved my point. That proved my point. They were just looking for a reason other than that their stars are white to hate the Patriots. So rather than just keeping it 100 and saying, hey, they got a lot of white stars and I'm black, so yeah, I'm going to be a little bit biased. No, they'd rather say, yeah, it's because of Trump. Yeah, that's why I hate the Patriots. Newsflash. Trump's only been in the White House for 2 years. The Patriots have been hated for almost 2 decades. Try again. Guys, don't be disingenuous, man. We all have racial biases, and that's okay. It's part of the human condition. I agree with Jason Whitlock, guys. A portion, not all, of the Patriots' hate is because of race. And anybody who denies it out loud is being disingenuous. You're lying to yourself and everyone else. It is what it is, man. If you like the Patriots because you look like their stars, fine. If you love the 80s Lakers over those white boy Celtics because you're black and you identify with black guys, cool. Just admit it, man. Don't come at me with, well, I just didn't like the way Larry Bird played. I didn't like his game. No. You didn't like him because he was white. Any fan in Boston, well, I hated Magic Johnson. Okay, fine. But it's probably because he was black. It is what it is, dude. Just because you have racial biases does not make you a racist. This is how this goes. People are so afraid and so scared to say, hey, you know what? I like XYZ fighter because he's black. They're so afraid to say that because, racist. Get the fuck out of here with that, man. And when Tyson Fury fights Deontay Wilder for a second time, guess what? I'm going to be pulling for Deontay Wilder. But I'll tell you this. I do like Tyson Fury a lot more now because he's a fucking lunatic. All right, let's go to the chat here. See who we've got in the house. Okay. Heathen Deluxe. Oh, Jesus Christ. Here we go. Heathen Deluxe, are you black or white? Let's just go ahead and get this out of the way now. Because Heathen Deluxe, listen, I love you. You've been a follower of mine for a while, but I'm going to call you out. His question was, so Tom Brady is reviled because he's white. That's not what I said. I said a portion of the Patriots hate. I didn't say a portion of the Tom Brady hate. A portion of the Patriots hate is because their stars, the faces of their team, are white. No, I didn't say Tom Brady was reviled because he's white. Come on, man. I'm black. I'm your friend on Instagram. Okay, listen, I'm glad that you're black, and no, you're not. You're not my friend on Instagram because I don't have Instagram anymore. Okay, so again, this is what I'm talking about. And listen, no disrespect here, Heathen Deluxe, but this is what I'm talking about. Asking me questions. So what you're saying is that Tom Brady is reviled because he's white? No, of course not. People pretend to hate. Listen, the average black man who says, "Oh, I hate Tom Brady and the Patriots," if they saw him on the street, guess what? They'd be the first one to go over there, shake his hand, take a picture, maybe get an autograph. Come on, man. Like for real? You guys gotta listen. You guys are some of you guys are using selective hearing. I did not say people hate Tom Brady because he's white. That's ridiculous. Any white person who claims to hate Tom Brady, number one, is a fucking loser, because if you hate successful people, you are a fucking loser and you'll never be successful. Just like if you hate rich people, you're a fucking loser and you'll never be rich or have money, right? But the second reason why white people and a lot of people are tired of the Patriots and hate the Patriots is because they win too much. This is how it is. Listen, you get one team on top for an extended period of time, yeah, they're going to get some hate. Even the Golden State Warriors, they were America's darlings back in 2015. Now they're one of the most hated teams in the league, especially now with the cupcake Kevin Durant, who can't get out of his own way, Mr. Super Sensitive. Come on, guys. All right, I'm gonna go back to the top now. I'm gonna go back to the top here. Oaktown's Finest says, looks like I get the first shot at Becky today. About time. Miami J. See, Miami J keeps it 100. He said, haterade, go Rams. Hey, listen, man. If you're pulling for the Rams, and listen, dude, listen. I'm going to keep it 100 with you guys. I hope the Rams win this game. I'm tired of the Patriots winning. I'm tired of the Patriots. But guess what? That's going to be your score. Why? That's Tom fucking Brady. Tom Brady's been here before. Dude, Bill Belichick skipped the walkthrough yesterday. You want to know why? Because he's done this now 9 times. Everybody knows what the fuck they have to do. This doesn't mean they're going to slack off, but dude, like, what more can you do? This is their 9th Super Bowl. That's amazing. It's unbelievable. I still can't believe it. Hashim Abdullah says, ram it. All right. Dr. Sinister's in the house. Yeah, VCoast 758 says, I hear some foul shit about the city of Boston. Yeah, listen, Boston is a historically racist city. Listen, man, like the stories are, a lot of the stories are true. Bill Russell, who won 11 championships with the Boston Celtics. When people asked him who he played for, he said he played for the Celtics. He never said the Boston Celtics because he hated the city. Why? People were openly racist. They hated Bill Russell because he was black. That's just how it was. Scroll down a little further. Hayek says they had to leave St. Louis to get back to the Super Bowl. No, they had to get rid of Jeff Fisher to get back to the Super Bowl. Toxic Crusade says Christian Laettner was my man. Dude, Christian Laettner was that dude. Dude, Christian Laettner was a bad dude, man. Bad dude. Woo. Oh, he said he didn't like Duke, but he liked Christian Laettner. Okay, see, well, there you go. AJRX says Zion Williamson is coming to replace LeBron James. Dude, Zion is a fucking freak. Jesus. Lorenzo David said DePaul. I don't think DePaul's been good for a while. Yes, Miami J correctly points out Cam Newton was actually Tebow's backup for a year before transferring. Yes. Yeah, you see pictures of Tim Tebow running along the crowd giving people 5. There's Cam Newton. Cameron Jarrell Newton right behind him. Lorenzo Davis says Lawrence Phillips came from the hood. Yeah, that was obvious. Dude, Lawrence Phillips could not get out of his own way, man. Ray Brasileri. Oh, boy. I'm bad. I'm terrible. Hashim Abdullah. Jason Garrett went to Princeton. There you go. And Jason Garrett backed up Troy Aikman. Mossy says, I never paid attention to their upbringing or how much money their families had. I didn't like Coach K and their attitude. No, you're being disingenuous. You're being disingenuous. You know who else had attitudes? The Fab Five. You didn't hate them. And as a matter of fact, the Fab Five were more brash and more out there than anybody else. But the reason why you hated Duke was because they were white guys. You identified more with the Fab Five. Jalen Rose, Ray Jackson, Chris Webber, Juwan Howard. This is why the world loved the Fab Five but hated Duke. Like seriously, Mossy, listen, man, I'm sure you think you're telling the truth, but you're not being honest with yourself. You didn't like Coach K and their attitudes? Dude, that's flimsy. Try again. And again, listen, no disrespect, guys, but I'm gonna call you out when I think you're being disingenuous and being dishonest. I didn't like Duke because they had white stars. Like, I'm Donovan Sharpe, guys. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not gonna sit up here and lie to you guys. Well, the reason I hated Duke was because I didn't like the way Coach K's hair was. I didn't like the way No. I hated Duke because that fucking coiffed hair, good-looking underwear fucking model who could fucking hit jumpers and use Shaquille O'Neal on the backboards named Christian Laettner dominated the league, and I didn't like that. To me, it wasn't fair that these guys could have it all. If you're smart and good-looking and white, you're not supposed to be good at basketball. That's why I hated Duke. I can admit that. Free yourself, guys. Don't give me this bullshit about you didn't like Coach K and their attitudes. Get out of here. You know who else had attitude? The 94 Arkansas Razorbacks, coached by Nolan Richardson, Corliss Williamson, and all those boys. Guess what? Nobody hated them, did they? Come on, give me a break. V-Coast, Jeremy Lin went to Harvard. Yes, well, all right. Yes, Marcellus Wiley went to Columbia. He went to Columbia, Dr. Sinister. Yeah, he went to Columbia. Yes, Hashim Abdullah, you guys are good. Jay Fiedler. He's Hashim Abdullah says Dolphins legend Jay Fiedler out of Dartmouth. Matt Burke went to Harvard. Okay, Columbia, very good. Yes, Columbia is Ivy League. Dude, Brown, Yale, Columbia, Dartmouth, Rice. No, not Rice. The usual. No, Jeremy Lin. AJRX says I thought Jeremy Lin went to Stanford. I think he went to Harvard. Merchant says he is rooting for the Pats today. Not a fan of either team. I would figure you'd be pulling for the Rams being in Vegas. Okay, Dr. Sinister says Lynn is from Palo Alto, and he went to Harvard. See, there we go. Charles Merchant says Super Sly 75 is a huge Patriots fan. There we are. See, Super Sly is an exception to the rule. He's a black guy. He speaks on black issues. He has very strong opinions, but he's a Patriots fan. Mossy says he's from the Northwest, and they only have fake fans here. Yeah, listen, there are Patriots fans everywhere. Everywhere. Dr. Sinister says, no, I hate the Patriots because they get all the calls. Listen, man, it would appear that when the Patriots play at home, they do tend to get more calls, but so does every team, right? I don't know. CJ05 says, I know several Patriots fans that are black, but most of them live up north. Charles Merchant says, I'm a Raiders fan. I hate the Pats because of the tuck rule. Now that's legit. If you're a Raiders fan and you hate the Patriots, I get it. You guys were robbed back in 2002, man. Mossy says, this is funny. Mossy just told on him. So he says, me and my friends used to chant white every time Brady completed a pass to his little whiteys. You see? You just told on yourself. Saying that, but then you want to tell me that you hated Duke because of Coach K and their attitudes. Give me a break. Rob Cruz says, Donovan, do you think the Big East Hoyas, Ewing, could have competed against the 90s Duke? Ooh, man. Oh, my God. Yeah, I think so. It was a different brand of basketball. The Duke teams of the early 90s were really the first team. The Duke teams of the early 90s were the Golden State Warriors before the Golden State Warriors. Anybody who watched Duke in the early 90s, all they did was jack up threes, man. Think about this, guys. Think about this. And if this doesn't convince you, nothing will. Who are the most hated college basketball players of all time? Christian Laettner is definitely number one. J.J. Redick, Cherokee Parks, Grayson Allen. Granted, they were all white and they went to Duke, and they gave us reason to hate them other than the fact that they were white. Grayson Allen's a dirty player. He's tripping guys all the time. Cherokee Parks is white and went to Duke. Christian Laettner had the step on the Kentucky player. I forgot who it was, then hits the shot. Right? We get it. But the main reason why the most hated college basketball players of all time are white Duke guys is because they're white Duke guys. This is just how it is, man. People can show that they're racially accepting by hating Duke. And like I said, guys, again, I'm admitting the reason, dude, I voted for Clinton the very first year I was eligible to vote. I voted for Clinton in 96, man. This is just how it is. Conk in the house. Sad boy says that's a good observation. Rob Cruz says he just moved to Massachusetts after retiring from my new job here. Every fan is white. Every black person has a Moss jersey. Do you see? Yes, there are Patriots fans who are black, but guess what? They're walking around with Randy Moss jerseys on, James White jerseys on, Sony Michel jerseys on. That's not a bad thing, man. Black people identify with black stars. Listen, I'm sure they love Tom Brady and Wes Welker and Julian Edelman and all that. But they're buying Randy Moss jerseys, Devin McCourty jerseys, because those are black guys, man. They identify with black guys. They want to support black guys. Great. Hey, fine. Dude, my favorite quarterback of all time for the Eagles was Donovan McNabb. Part of the reason was that he was black. I like that. All right, let's go to the phone lines here. 914-205-5356. Miami J is in the house. What's going on, brother?
Go Rams, baby. Go Rams.
Now, Miami J.
I fully admit, I'm a Dolphins fan, so I have to hate Brady.
Of course you do.
I can't do it. I got $500 on this game, dude.
Oh, my God. Dude, it was $300. You upped it to $5?
Yeah. See, here's the problem. For some reason, I have this uncle, immigrant from Venezuela, just like I am, came to Miami. It's lived his whole life in Miami. He's never set foot in Boston, but for some reason, he's a diehard Patriots fan. He's a diehard Celtics fan, Red Sox. I don't know what the hell his obsession is with the city of Boston, but all his kids, all my cousins have gone along with him, so now they're all raging Patriots fans, so I have to bet against them.
Well, that's how that goes.
And that just makes me hate them even more.
Of course. Listen.
But anyway.
Listen. You put your money where your mouth is, right? Who do you think is going to win the game? Who do you think is going to win the game?
It's a tough one to call, honestly. The one thing I will say is, if I'm Sean McVay, I'm not putting it in Goff's hand. I am turning him around and handing that ball to Gurley 40 fucking times.
Dude, yes.
That's what I'm doing. I'm keeping Brady off the field.
Okay, so you want to use ball control. You want to go Todd Gurley, maybe C.J. Anderson in there, the human bowling ball?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I would. I mean, the Rams, we know they can. If the Patriots start scoring, we know the Rams can't keep up. But I would start out the game with ball control. And I'm not sure Belichick, he likes to quote unquote take away your number one weapon. He's probably going to take away Brandon Cooks.
Yes.
Take away the deep ball threat. So I would turn around and hand the ball to Gurley and Anderson the entire fucking game.
All right, very good, man. So what's your score?
My cousins, my prediction is 41-38 Rams.
Woo, 41-38 Rams. I've got it 45-40 Patriots. So you're either going to be really, really happy tomorrow or not.
Yeah, no shit. But hey, I wanted to give a quick shout out to Pine. I'm about to publish one of his articles on Latino Manosphere, his first one. So thank you, Pine, for that. And yeah, man.
Good
I'm about
shit,
to trigger some folks too. Brady is not the GOAT.
I love it, man. Yo, text me throughout the game, man. I'm actually gonna have my phone. We'll talk a little shit. All right, man. Miami J checking in. They're from SoFla, the 305. Dr. Sinister says McCaffrey rarely runs between the tackles. He's more of a slot receiver. You're wrong. I actually looked up the stats while I was on the phone with Miami J when I saw that comment. This year, 219 rush attempts for 1,098 yards and 7 touchdowns. That's 5 yards a carry. I don't care if he... You know who else... Listen, you know who else didn't run between the tackles is Barry Sanders. And Barry Sanders wasn't really that good out of the backfield in terms of catching passes. I remember one guy said Christian McCaffrey is garbage. No, you're a fake-ass pro-black. Like, get the fuck out of here with that. Listen, if you don't like Christian McCaffrey because he's white, just say, hey, listen, man, I'm not a big fan of Christian McCaffrey because... Listen, I'm a black guy. I'm not going to pull for a white running back, right? Running backs are normally supposed to be black. This is why I don't like Christian McCaffrey. Don't tell me that he's garbage. No, he's not garbage. He didn't get taken. Dude, I was hoping the Eagles would get him, but the Panthers took him at number 8. They took him at number 8. Yeah, listen, you can tell me all you want that, hey, you know, he doesn't. Okay. Don't run between the tackles. An average 5 yards a carry? Well, then, yeah, I would not run between the tackles. All right, let's see what else we got here. B. Ryan says, same hate went to the Boston Celtics back in the day. Yep, I talked about that. Charles Merchant says, there is a small undercurrent of racism behind a hatred for Duke or New England. There was even some for Curry and the Warriors. Oh, yeah. Oh, my God, yeah. Yeah, that was crazy. V. Coast says, I'm black, but I did root for Drago. Hi, Exco says, I didn't know half of these guys. Yeah, right. Tep, Tommy Morrison, right? The Great White Hope. Dr. Sinister says you have to knock the champ out to win. So Dr. Sinister has revealed himself as someone who is racially biased. No, you don't have to knock the champ out to win. No, you don't. Who the hell said that? Dude, I had Ed Lattimore on right after the... Ed Lattimore was speaking of Tommy Morrison, Ed Lattimore, heavyweight boxer. His last fight, he got knocked out by Tommy Morrison's son. Finished his career at 13-1. And he was, you guys can go back and look at that. That one's actually up on YouTube. Somebody said, well, listen, if you want to beat the champ, you got to knock him out. Ed Lattimore said, dude, that's bullshit, man. No, you don't have to knock. No. Listen, Tyson Fury dominated Deontay Wilder. No, Deontay Wilder knocked him down twice. Okay, listen, you got to draw. Like, don't give me that bullshit. Get out of here with that. And again, listen, I'm not trying to be a dick here, but you wanted Wilder to win because he's black. Right? Let's reverse this. Let's say that Deontay Wilder dominated Fury the entire fight. Fury knocks him down twice. They get the draw. I promise you, Dr. Sinister would be up here saying, "Well, Fury won the fight," or "I'm sorry, yeah." He'd say, "Well, Deontay won the fight," right? But then when someone says you have to knock the champ out in order to beat the champ, you would argue against that simply because of the races are reversed. Like, dude, don't give me that. That's nonsense. Nonsense. Lorenzo Davis says, well, Lorenzo, you're a Rams fan, so yeah, of course. Mossy says cocaine was OJ's help. Yeah. Now that I will I'll definitely co-sign on that. Heathen Deluxe says, I've done a lot of coke, never made me want to kill my ex. I agree. Hayek's Ghost actually makes a very good point. He says, how can you identify with any golfer? Right. The only thing I have in common with any professional athlete is my skin tone. That's it. I don't know nothing about Tiger Woods. Ooh, Mike Shinnery makes a good point about Tiger Woods. He says his wife knew he liked to get down daily. Why wasn't she traveling with him, right? Eddie Enigma 74 says Tom Brady lost the Super Bowl last year, so he ain't the champ. Nobody said Brady was the champ, but Brady is absolutely the GOAT. Tom Brady is the greatest quarterback of all time. You guys know it. Okay. Rob Cruz says Donovan's problem was that goofy ass Wilder started dancing instead of going into a neutral corner, showboating. Yeah, well, whatever. You know, it is what it is. Yeah, he knocked him down and said it's over. Like, dude, if I were Wilder, I would. Dude, we all thought the fight was over. I'm like, oh my god, he fucking pulled it off. Like, I thought Wilder won the fight, and then, dude, magically, Tyson Fury's asleep. He wakes up, and all of a sudden he regains consciousness like that. He puts his hands on the referee. I'm okay. He says, walk over there. Fury runs back and forth. The fight goes on. He ends up almost knocking down Wilder. Unbelievable. That was a crazy fight. Very entertaining. Ray B says black people love Trump until he ran for president, right? Alexa, stop. I didn't know I had a timer. Sean Rankin says the irony is if Tiger Woods had been 100% Asian, those same guys would have supported him with no issues. Just my opinion. I would agree. I would agree. Heathen Deluxe says, I despise Brady because he's a goddamn cheater. Oh, Jesus. Here we go with that. Here we go. Brady was a cheater. Listen, guys. Listen. I got news for you. You don't accidentally get to 9 Super Bowls. It doesn't. It doesn't happen. Doesn't happen. Let me go. Whoa, wait a minute. Holy moly. Okay, let me scroll back up. I'm trying to get to all. I really try to get to all of you guys because you guys are an intelligent bunch. I try not to. AJRX says OJ didn't like black people, dude. No, he didn't. But it's black people that got his black ass out of prison. I'm gonna tell you that. Sad Boy says this concept permeates all of society. Yes, it does, but that's not a bad thing. Listen, man, if you're a black man and you want to support black-owned businesses, fine. Don't say, well, I went to that restaurant because they're better than that one. No, I went to this restaurant because I want to support black-owned businesses. That's okay. That's fine. Mossy says Rams win it if it doesn't come down to the last play, but Brady wins it if it comes down to the last drive. Mossy, you know what? I agree 100%. I agree 100%. You know what? I had not thought about that, but you're right. The Patriots have won their 5 Super Bowls by a total of 19 points, guys. The San Francisco 49ers won their 5 Super Bowls by a total of like 99 points or something that I heard earlier on ESPN. So if the Rams are going to win, they're going to have to boat race the Patriots. It's going to have to be a blowout. But if it's close, advantage Patriots, man. Advantage Patriots. Ernest Little says, Bills fan here, go Rams. There you go. Oh, Heathen Deluxe says Boston, a.k.a. Mississippi North. Yeah, listen, there are too many stories coming out of Boston to deny that. Like, without a doubt, man. I swear to God, doing this stuff and talking to you guys, it literally makes me feel better. Like, and don't get me wrong, I'm still a little under the weather. I'm still a little foggy. But I feel a little bit better now. This is great. Miami J. Hashtag throat coat Brady. Hashtag throat coat Giselle. Lorenzo Davis says he's going to be clowning black Patriots fans who live in L.A. Ryan Sullivan, good to see you in here. Better late than never. Mr. Wave says Donovan is too real. Straight up. Ryan Sullivan says we need to teach Donovan Spanish. I know, dude. I'm fucking terrible. I'm terrible at it. Mr. Wave says, no lie. Growing up, somehow I was taught that the Patriots were racist, so I never liked them. Now I realize that was all BS. That's the thing, man. listen, man, I don't know who's racist and who's not, right? We've all heard the stories, man. Boston is a historically racist city, so we're told. Okay, so it stands to reason that most of their fans are going to be white. Dude, I've been to Boston 3 times. I think I've seen maybe three black people there. And I was one of them. It is what it is, man. Of course, you've got Bobby Brown, who's from Massachusetts. That area. I think Roxbury, whatever. Ray Bracilero says the Fab Five is the reason I became a Duke fan. There we go. Ryan Sullivan, Ryan Sullivan's keeping it all the way real. He says, white people aren't supposed to play basketball. We need to stick to swimming and hockey. Jesus fucking Christ. No, man. Dude, man, listen, the white boys can play, man. Heathen Deluxe says Rutgers teeters on the second tier. Low second tier. I agree. Hashim Abdullah says, are any Saints fans watching the game? Every Saints fan I know is boycotting the Super Bowl. Wrong, Hashim. Every Saints fan you know says they're boycotting the Super Bowl, but they'll be watching. Heathen Deluxe says, Cowboys fans are the only fans more insufferable than Patriots fans. Yes. Wow. Well, Second Fifth says a lot of pro-blacks like the Patriots. I don't know. I don't know many pro-blacks who are Patriots fans, but I don't know. I don't know, maybe you know more than me in that regard, but I've never heard of one other than and Super Sly 75. He is a real pro-black. Pro-black. So if he's a Patriots fan, then I guess I do know one. Lorenzo Davis says, I've been waiting 40 years for the Rams to win a Super Bowl since we were beaten by the Steelers at the Rose Bowl. What, you don't take credit for Super Bowl 34 when the Rams, the St. Louis Rams beat the Tennessee Titans, coached by Jeff Fisher? Sad Boy says Saints fans are babies. Yeah, they'll get over it. D. Wee says the Raiders fans are the worst. How you still playing on half a base? Come on, man. Come on. Yeah, dude. Yeah. Oaktown's Finest is right. The Raiders are getting a brand. Oh my God, that stadium in L.A. and the stadium in Vegas, those are going to be crazy. Eddie N says Grayson Allen guy is trash. Yes, Grayson Allen is trash. Yes, he is not. He is not very good. I can admit that. Rob Cruz says Bill Laimbeer, dirtiest white player I've ever seen and could bet. Bill Laimbeer was a fucking G. Yo, those bad boy Pistons teams that Michael Jordan lost to in the NBA playoffs twice before he broke through. Yo, do not get it twisted, man. Dude, Bill Laimbeer will put you on your ass, man. Bill Laimbeer was a fucking G. Straight up. Unless he says John Allstott. I think you're talking about Mike Allstott. Yeah, Heathen Deluxe says the Eagles treated McNabb terribly, as did the fans. Yes. Dude, Eagles fans didn't like Donovan McNabb. They didn't even like him when he was here. Listen, you guys all remember when he got drafted number 2 overall in '99, right behind Ricky Williams, who went one to the Saints. They booed him on draft day. All Donovan McNabb did was get the Eagles to 5 NFC Championship games, a Super Bowl appearance. And if Carson Wentz can stay on the field, he will supplant the now greatest quarterback in Eagles history, Donovan McNabb. Oh, no. Miami J is still... Oh, no. That's funny. Rams by 9. We have some predictions coming in. Rams 30, Pats 21. Yeah, dude. Yeah, Kevin Ibanez says, hell yeah, John Stockton was the baddest point guard. Yeah, I'm telling you. You guys remember Jason Williams, White Chocolate? Oh, here's a prediction. Wait, I just lost it. Tom LeGuin says all of the Patriots' wins or losses have been within a one-possession game. I think this is the day they break that cycle. 31-17 Patriots. Very nice. Well, guys, that's going to do it for this edition of TSR Sports Talk. Tune in at 3 o'clock, which is in roughly 45 minutes, where I will be joined by Minister Jap himself to talk about the Cynthia G pregnancy scandal, and we'll be taking calls. You certainly don't want to miss that. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time.